My heart was racing as I took my position on stage in the blinding spotlight. My partner and kids are in the audience cheering. The band started, and the dancers and I began the choreography we practiced. We ended with our signature arm throw, and the sound of applause filled the theater. I'm strutting off stage, exhilarated, and a mom carrying a toddler comes up to me and says, "I just love watching you dance." I said, "Moms get to have joy too." But I didn't always feel this energized. A few years ago, on my birthday, I came home from work to balloons and crepe paper on the ceiling and around my chair. My partner had cooked me my favorite dinner, and my kids were so excited to give me their gifts. I desperately wanted to be able to enjoy the evening with my amazing family, but trying harder to be happy didn't help. I was overwhelmed from being a leader in a work environment filled with discrimination. My stomach was tied up in knots and nauseous. I could hardly breathe. My face was tense. Tears welled in my eyes, so I forced down a few bites of my dinner and left the table to go cry in my room. Maybe what they said about me was right. I was an oversensitive know-it-all who needed to be quiet. As a speech-language pathologist, an expert in communication, I couldn't communicate what I was going through with anyone. Something was seriously wrong with me. I asked my doctor for testing. I took questionnaires for anxiety, depression, met with a psychologist for ADHD testing, cognitive testing. My diagnosis was not what I expected. I'm gifted. Isn't gifted just a program in schools for advanced students? I began a deep dive to learn about giftedness. Read over 30 books and articles, went to conferences, listened to expert speakers. Even though I spent years coaching educators to design instruction for students with learning differences, I knew very little about this difference. I learned there is so much more to giftedness than advanced intelligence. Gifted people have intensities. We often feel like too much, too sensitive, too emotional, too perfectionistic, too bossy, too talkative, too idealistic, too distractible, too many ideas without follow-through. Paula Prober, a psychotherapist and author, describes one type of gifted mind as similar to a rainforest. Our minds are dense, complex, multi-layered, colorful, vivid, intense. Gifted people are highly sensitive. Our emotional intensity gives us deep empathy and a strong sense of fairness. It really impacted me when I saw kids with learning differences being punished at the school where I worked. Our intellectual intensity allows us to build deep knowledge about topics we're interested in, and our imaginational intensity allows us to envision new possibilities and ways to creatively solve problems that might seem crazy. Some people are uncomfortable with the label of gifted. But for me, having language to describe my identity was empowering. I finally understood myself. I could see my intensities as a strength rather than a deficit. I stopped trying to be something other than a rainforest mind and started including myself in my fight for equity, inclusion, and justice. Coming out, unmasking, seeing our differences is key for us to reach our potential at work. When I realized there were chainsaws trying to cut down my rainforest mind at my job, I resigned and started a business to create a work environment that met my needs and supported me. Feeling energized from work supports our capacity to be effective leaders, enjoy deep relationships, and pursue hobbies like dancing. Embracing our gifted identity allows us to thrive emotionally and leverage our strengths at work. So this week, take 5 minutes, which may turn into 5 hours if you're gifted, and search online for the intensities of giftedness. Learn about what gifted actually means. Then choose one way to use your intensity at work. Join me, and let's stop the deforestation of our rainforest minds.